All right, guys, here we are. Sorry I was a bit later. This was very hard to make a book that I thought would be profit for you guys. Let's get that mic out of the way for you. And then the soft 7 at Randwick sort of threw things in the air. We'll quickly run through the selections in Sydney that I've got, and then we will go over the Flemington for you because I spent a lot of time on it, even though we don't have a lot of selections. All right, let's get it up on the screen here. A little bit behind today, like I said. Let's get organised for you. Tight screen. Let's get that's it. All right, we're up. There we are. Let's get. All right, Randwick race 2. They've backed this horse. It was $14 still with Ladbrokes, but I've seen it come into 11 on Sportsbet. Number 11, Pharoahzano. This horse, you can see I've marked already, still the soft. This horse has had the 2 wins over the 1400. It's got B knock, drawn a little bit inside at Randwick and inside where you don't quite want to be there. But he's a really good jock, and this horse is really ready to peak. Third up from a spell. Like I said, 1400 is his distance. The video replay here of his last run really proved that he just kept winding up, and as he hit the line, he was really hitting the line well. So he shouldn't have been doing what he's done here. I know it's only a Dubbo win over Class 2, but it's only a Highway Class 3 over the 1100 and then over the 1200 beaten by 2 lengths. And this Where's the Profit is quite a good horse. Lightning speeds in the race. He drops 4.5 kilos with Knox Claim and he's ready to peak and his value. So here's our first selection in Randwick race 2, number 11, Pharoahzano. I think that's his name, exactly how you say it. And then, look, we come to Randwick race 7. Oh, really keen on Jimmysstar. These good horses, you want a firmer surface. It's just so I was really, really, really keen, and just with this soft 7 just dampens that a little bit. It just brings the rest of the field closer to horses of class of this ability. Jimmysstar has just been running incredible without winning. His ratings are through the roof. What do we got here? Plus 1.5 first up over the 1,000 metres, and then a plus 4 and a plus 4. Plus 4 is what he was peaking at last prep. And I believe I backed him in the all age over the 1400 and he won like a star. I believe 1400 is his pet distance, and they've kept him fresh for the Everest. So the 1300 Randwick and maybe even the soft 7 is going to bring him into it a bit more, because he'd love, a little bit tougher track is going to be like a 1400 run. So I'm not completely off him. I'd still love it. A soft 5 would have been just ideal. But Jimmysstar, if it was a soft 5 with these ratings, and considering I think he's going to actually, obviously Ma would have had him to peak Everest, but I feel like his ratings and everything show, I think it was 4th up in the all age and he peaked there. He's going to peak today, and we maybe with a new peak, considering he's run 2 plus 4s, which he hasn't done that before. So, yeah, he's going to be still very hard to beat, but on a soft 5, I just reckon it'd be done and dusted. But hopefully Jimmy can still do it. He absolutely deserves it. He's a gun horse with gun form, and he's going to be hard to beat. Well, here we go again. I'm tipping my clients here. I think it's a good race to tip in. We've got nearly even money Autumn Glow. Better get on because they'll just go nuts on Autumn Glow, irrespective that she's under the price. But if you can get around even money and then back these two, Evaporate and Linebacker, if Autumn Glow wins, you lose a unit. And you obviously can do exotics and stuff like that. But I've got an awful amount of respect for Evaporate, a huge amount of respect for him. I won't go in it. Well, again, he's got transatlantic form. I said I wasn't going to go in it, but I quickly will. Get that run out. And his run was, I don't know, at least a couple lengths better than transatlantic. And you saw what he came out and done. And and we've got Like a Lucy here. These are very good horse forms. And Evaporate ready to peak here. I know Swift Falcon's a bit of a non-winner. Where is it here? Yeah, Swift Falcon 2.3 by depth of code 2.3. These are huge margins. These was 4th up. He peaked here. Our rating say it was a big win. His last start was huge. And yeah, National Really is going to suit him. Got a lot of respect for him and got a lot of respect for Linebacker. He's actually got some good heavy track form. They're keeping him very, very safe in the market. And Linebacker, 11 starts, is on the way up since his gelding. And he's another one. He rated his peak last start +2 or close to his peak. He's gone a +3. And the 1500, 1600 Randwick's his go. So he could be going a +4. These two put their ratings in with Autumn Glow and their value. Like if Evaporate wins at the $9, we're up 7 units. So I think it's a good play backing those 3 horses. Let's go to Flemington. Flemington, race 1 here. I think Call Da Vinci, I really think, with Regal Award running it along, it could be a real true test. This run on a Caulfield Leaders track was fantastic. Back from an 18-week spell, and look at his form here. Yeah, he wins on a heavy 8, beating Navy Pilot. All right, not bad form. And then he runs this great third over 1400. If you watch these races, he was over racing, came from back in the field to Cool Archie over the 1400, and then he really improves over the mile again from a wide barrier. So this is Group 1 form. Group 1 form, which, a good Group 1 form. And then he comes back and franks it with a first up run. Wide barrier, I think Regal Award will run them along. There's no doubt about it. It's the way it's been winning its races, so they're not going to change that. The Caulfield hard deck to a Flemington with a little bit of give out of it, not a lot, is a bit different. And the horse may have peaked. Panova, even though we're not tipping it to our members, we just want to give one selection here at a price because we do rate Regal Award. We still think it's there to be beat, but it'll be hard to beat. But Panova, huge win last start. It's got the rating patterns of Fangirl and Aliana that's won this race recently. And its run was as impressive as Fangirl when she won the same race before going on to the Carbine, and probably more impressive than Aliana. So we really think we like this race because we think they're the 3 main chances: Regal Award, Call Da Vinci, and Panova. And if you're happy to take on Regal Award with Panova and Call Da Vinci, I wouldn't blame you. Race 2 here. This is an open race. I think She's an Alibi deserves to be at that price. They'll be very hard to beat. I think Live, it's doing it. It's on its first prep. Mark my word, this Live is a very good horse for the future. Chatterley has got to be a chance at the 950. With that Panova form, it was quite held up and hit the line very well. I think he just tried to split Panova and Chatterley because I think the mile would suit it better. And this number 9 has got a lot of potential here as well. So, if you like She's an Alibi, definitely hard to beat. Live's definitely a chance, but trying to do it on the first prep. But I think number 9 is a danger as well, and to a lesser degree, number 6, Chatterley. We're not tipping our members into this race. Race 3, we are. And this is probably our most risky play. We are tipping Caballus, Libertad, number 1, and number 9, Geegees, Mistruth. We say it's a risky play because we do believe there's other dangers in the race. But these 3 here have got huge ratings. They really come on second up. Our rating patterns tell us second up. They really come on, and there's value. So it is a risky play. Caballus will sort of get our units back, or will be ahead. We'll be ahead with a unit or 1.5 units. And Libertad, we think, is well over the odds. You know, his run first up was awesome. Okay, Caballus was a bit better, but he really comes on second up. Look what he did first up, beating 4.2. He did nothing, and then came out and beat Jetabil, won a Group 2 with 58.5, and beat Jetabil and Golden Mile. And, you know, again, this horse is very lightly raced after an injury, and he still could be improving. And that first up run tells us that he's got J-Mont. But in saying that, Caballus comes out of that same race. It probably was a better run. How much they're going to come on from that run is to be seen. Caballus has got straight form as well, proven down the straight. And Geegees Mistruth is always got a lot of potential. Down in the weight, Craig Williams changed the trainer from Mark Walker, and that Ray McNerio Zealousy form is got to be, good form. Why we say it's a risky play? We're not too keen on Star Patrol, but you have to give it some sort of chance. But I'm more worried about these horses down in the weight, hedged. Obviously, gave with a big weight, gave Jigsaw a big run for its money. This horse has got a lot of potential. Again, with another trainer change from Mick Price to Gavin Bedgewood, and that first up run tells us he's come back really well and drops a big 7.5 kilos in this, and that Jigsaw form's looking a little bit better. And this neck down the straights, inside barrier, A. Morgan. That's why we wouldn't be tipping, but his ratings on that weight, if he gets any luck from inside barrier, can win. And Royal Insignia as well, drawn a little bit on the inside as well. These dangers where they've drawn, except for hedged, makes us want to play in the race. But I wouldn't leave hedged, Disneck and Royal Insignia out. But we are, because all those horses got something against them, probably not hedged. Here's our main danger. We've got value there, and we've got the top jockeys on our selections, and we've got prices. So our biggest risky play, but we're happy. We're gonna punt on our 3 there. Race 4, get a good feeling, $1.50. We agree with that. A lot of people was tipping it in the Caulfield Guineas. I wasn't, because it was staying at the mile. If you stay at the same distance when you want more, you're going to be a bit dour. Well, she was only beaten a length, and now she gets to step up to the 2,000, which is what she was looking for last start. So that was a great run in the Caulfield Guineas, considering she was probably looking for the 2,000 last start. And, of course, they had to hold her back for here. So she will be hard to beat, but too short for ours, right? Race 5. Guys, we've got a strong selection here. We've got a strong selection. Just let me look at that map there. Okay, the pace has come off a little bit. We really like Enxuto here at the price. Again, staying at the same distance. This horse is probably a mile horse. Got great Flemington mile for. Look, he's actually dropped a sign of it. We talked about staying at the same distance, and dropping distance is even harder. Look at this horse's form here. Stand down over the mile, and then they drop him back with a 3-week gap, drops back in distance and gets the job done. Wonder Boy was in there, cap of 39, but then they step him back up and he wins again over the mile. I really like what he did last start here between Media World, Cafe Millennium, and Von Hawk. You know, Cafe Millennium, Von Hawk, this is good form. Media World's in this race. If you get the video out, it was one of those ones he was held like he was sort of handed to midfield, and he was just held back so much, ended up deep, pulled off the heels and stormed home. It was a fantastic run. I love the 4-week gap because he probably his best distance at the mile, but this 28 days gap, he's going to need the luck from barrier 3, but he's the only one I want to play in the race, which is unusual on a day like today, and we've got $11. So really like the play of Enxuto here. Like I said, get out the video and you'll know why I like him. Third up, be fitter, 28-day gap is nice for a horse staying at the same distance. Okay. This is an interesting race, the Coolmore. What makes the carnival so hard is that the trainers really know how. It's not just Cummings, TJ Smith, and Hayes now. All the trainers, they all know the systems, the trials in between. Again, keeping them fresh to step up the distance the first time. They all know how to get a horse to peak on the day. Now, carnival, that's why it's so good in Brisbane. There's horses first up, whatever. They're not all set to peak. But in these big races, you've got 6, 7 horses that are ready to peak. And that makes it an open race. But this race is quite interesting because it's colts and they've got big stud value that the trainers are trying to get them to peak here. And they're not, some of the horses aren't quite suited. They could really move along here with Hidden Motive, Raging Force, Bewok, McGaw. So I'll stop beating around the bush here. In the end of the day, I didn't tip it because I just thought there was no value. But there's only the one horse here that's been set for the race, that's got the best profile, it's got everything going for it, and that's number 3, Tentris. If it was around $5, I'd probably tip it to you. But there's 3 horses here. Bewok, obviously, with those ratings. I mean, behind this horse was Tempted, an Autumn Boy. Tempted's around second to Carving Rising. So Bewok, even though this is coming from the Golden Rose, in secret done it with that same gap. So it can be done coming from the Golden Rose. She didn't win it, but she's come from the Golden Rose. So Bewok's got to be respected. Tentris has got to be respected. And Beedman, I've got a lot of time for Beedman. But Beedman's one of those horses I really think is a 1,400-metre horse. But with the pace on, I really think it's going to come into play. So, I rate those 3 on top. And although Beedman's a 1,400-metre race, 1,400-metre horse, I think comes into it. Tycoon Star shouldn't be there. McGaw's probably over the top. The last run showed it. Skyhook, include in your multis. I think this is the big smoky of the race. Skyhook's got that Bewok form. He was terribly unlucky. It's drawn on the inside barrier 2. If it was drawn out, I'd be even more keen on it. But Skyhook has got the top form. Kept hitting the line, was awfully unlucky. We've got a jockey change here. And if Craig Williams can pull out a Masterful from barrier 2 on ratings, this horse can do it. Legacy Bound, I've got a lot of time for. That's another one. It wants a lot further than here. They're keeping it here. Sky Glider, well, this says enough. Waller would never do this second up, 7-day backup, but he's a colt. They're throwing him in. Even if he plays, it's going to do great value for the horse. So that's what I mean. There's a lot of trainers here that the horses aren't quite suited. My Gladiola, I believe she's at her peak, and she beat Tentris last start, but that's her at her peak, and Tentris, it could go to a new level. So my Gladiola will run really well, but I can't see it winning the race. So that's our take there. And again, that's why we're not playing. We've got Bewok, Tentris, and Beeman as our top selections, and they're all under $5. So it's a non-play for us. But Skyhook's the smoky, and I hope I've shown you why those other horses sort of can't win and the take on that race. The Derby race 7, I really didn't go over the race. Observer, we tipped to our members in the Caulfield Guineas. It's the only bet we had in the Caulfield Guineas. It probably should have run second or maybe one, and it's running around very short. Hot favourites get beaten the Derby. That's all I can say. We're not willing to tip you. We really got a lot of respect for Observer. Obviously, we tipped it in the Caulfield Guineas. So we like the horse, but too short for us in a Derby. Race 8. Race 8. Pride of Jenni is going to go back to Pride of Jenni. I heard them talking before the King of Charles, and I heard Ma saying her sectionals at Moonee Valley, she finished off really well. And if you hold her up, she can finish well. I think that was a huge mistake. She's got to run them along. And I think if she does, she's going to be very hard to beat. And we think she's one of the ones to beat. Fangirl is way too short, the $5. Her last 2 runs in this race, she's rated at least 3 lengths below her top, and there's no reason in her rating patterns today to tell us that she's going to rate on top. And she's got 4 runs against Pride of Jenni for 0, especially if Pride of Jenni runs them along. It means Fangirl's got to just run mid-race sectionals just to be running midfield. She's running at her top, and it just dulls her finish. So we don't like Fangirl today. Benagil, we've got a lot of respect for. This horse is very, very underrated, and we're happy to play at the $20, especially if it runs along. And if Pride of Jenni starts stopping, there's a horse that's going to want a lot of distance, would like further, that's going to come into play, and that's Benagil. Leica Lucy, we've got a lot of respect for Leica Lucy. Aim for the race, gun horse, and if she can stay in tune with Pride of Jenni from the 3, which she should be able to, she's going to be very hard to beat. Idle Flyer, $6.50. Whatever, this horse is a freak. He's doing already freakish things, and he's going to have to be a freak to win this. You're talking about a horse that's already at its top, that this is an afterthought, and is coming into a Group 1 at weight for age in a high-pressure race and hoping it's going to handle that pressure and peak again. So there's a bit of freak about him. So I won't say he can't win, but I do believe they're asking too much for this horse. This is not a setup the winner head would play at. Oh, race 9. Stretton Angel. Stretton Angel, I know it looks like she wins out of turn, but she's well placed here. I thought New York Lustre was a big run last start. And I thought Soft Love was a big run last start and Flying for Fun. So they'll be our selections. Stretton Angel, New York Lustre, Soft Love, and Flying for Fun here. Hey, guys, all the best. Take care. A little bit of a different sort of review here, and I hope I helped you out for Derby Day. And it's tough playing here. And hopefully our book will show a profit. Thanks, guys. Take care. Have a great day. Thanks.